Meredith was surprised. Master Philip's returning home so soon? But I thought he still have 2 months. Are they in a hurry to get married? Andrew, we must not waste time. Meredith seems to panic. As soon as Meredith got to her bedroom, she made a call. Hello, Nancy. How's my dear sister doing? Nancy was a teacher in a public elementary school in Pueblo. She was a widow and living with her grandson of 4 years old who was orphaned when he was still 5 months old. Finn's parents, Nancy's daughter and son-in-law, died in a car accident, and it was Nancy who raised him since then. Meredith mentioned about Cathy and the situation she was in. Nancy was all ears and felt compassion for Cathy. Meredith asked her sister if Cathy could live with her in the meantime until Cathy had given birth. I want to help. I could spare a room for her, and it would be wonderful to have additional member living with us. I will fix her room then. Call me whenever she's ready. Meredith was so happy to tell Cathy about her plan that following morning. Cathy, I found a place for you to move in, but I intend to go there first to pay a visit to my sister who is very willing to take you in. I'll help her fix your room there, but first, I'm taking some of your things so it won't be obvious why you're carrying bulky things with you. As for me, it's my days off for 3 days so they won't scrutinize my things. I'd call you about my plan as soon as we're ready.
Cathy couldn't express how much she appreciated Meredith's efforts to help her. She packed some clothing and essentials, then gave her phone number. Wait for my call, Cathy, and be sure you'll work with Andrew to make your escape smooth sailing. Cathy nodded, then hugged Meredith in gratitude, as tears welled up in her eyes. Thank you, Meredith, for coming into my life. Meredith patted her back and said with tears, You're like a daughter I haven't had, Cathy. Take care.
In the campus, Andrew chaperoned Cathy on her way to the college, and when they were alone, Andrew shared his plan to Cathy. Meredith will call to tell you what to do. Our plan was you'd bring your backpack as usual, but instead of your laptop and notes, pack things that are important to you, which you may need in your new home. Let me handle the withdrawal of your allowance from your present card and deposit it in the bank where you'd be moving in so Master Philip can't do anything to freeze your money. Cathy felt like guilty. Do I have to get all this money? Andrew smiled and said, Of course, you have worked for it. Cathy, it's your right to keep it. If ever you run short, let me know. I'm giving my number to you so you can call me anytime whenever you need my help about anything. And by the way, may I see your phone? Cathy handed her phone with an inquisitive look while Andrew opened her phone. Just as I suspected, Philip put a tracker in your phone. Here, I bought you a new one, so you won't be traced. Cathy stared at Andrew longer, and then shyly asked, Why are you doing this for me, Andrew? What have I done to make you so kind to me? Andrew smiled and said, You remind me of my sister when she's of your age. But she's working as a nurse now, and soon will be tying her knot. And as for me, I'm married, but we have no kids yet. But we're working on it. He smiled with a wink.
Meredith called her during the night and instructed her what she'd do for her escape. The following day, Cathy was ready. She will be driven as usual to the campus, and Andrew will meet her at the other gate where students use in entering and exiting. Her escape must correspond with the time Andrew's men take their position in the building to keep watch over Cathy so that by the time his men goes to their usual place, Cathy was already out of the building. As Cathy was about to leave, Megan and her friends saw her and started saying nasty things about her. Megan just stared at Cathy disgustingly, then remarked, Let that fake princess alone. I don't want to do anything about her anymore. I've gone through a big trouble because of her. She could be a personal maid, but that witch seemed to have a hold on Mr. Philip Warren. She seemed untouchable. There must be something going on between them. Anyway, she was indeed a whore to me. Cathy just cared less about their snide comments and scurried away. And as she saw the car park in sight, she kneeled and pretended fixing the strings of her rubber shoes, but her eyes were on the lookout for her bodyguards. Notice that the coast is clear. She quickly walked towards the exit gate. She was breathing heavily when Andrew came to her.
Ready now? There's the cab waiting in. I told the driver to bring you at the bus. Terminal going to Pueblo. Meredith will. Wait for you at the bus stop, so call her. As soon as you're on the bus. Here are all of your allowance that I withdrew from the bank, so don't forget to deposit them in the nearest bank as soon as you got there. And deposit them in a different bank so you won't be traced. Is it clear, Cathy? She nodded, so eager to leave.
At last, Cathy is free. She sat by the bus window, closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and smiled softly. Then she looked again out the window and whispered, I must be strong and focused. I won't let a simple thing bother me and must live for myself and this little one growing in me. Goodbye, my beloved Philip. I hope we'll never cross paths ever again. Then a song came to her attention. It was Remember Us Always This Way by Lady Gaga, and she felt a sudden sadness and loneliness. At the meantime, Andrew's men became restless. They haven't seen Cathy the entire time while they're in the building, which was uncanny because they never missed seeing her every time, but not today. One of the men thought it weird, so they informed Andrew that Cathy has never been around since the start of their watch. Andrew said, she must be anywhere within the vicinity with friends. But they argued that she can never be found in all the places she frequented. So Andrew went with them and suggested to peek in each class she was attending. In the last room they peeked into were Alex and Megan. Andrew asked Alex the whereabouts of Cathy, but he annoyingly replied, Why looking a lost cat from me? Am I her brother's keeper? Then Megan added, Look at that, she's heavily guarded, and yet they couldn't find their Cinder Princess. She laughed haughtily.
They went around the building until one of Andrew's men commented, Sir, I'm positive she's missing, and Drew pretended to be angry and scoffed at them. You're all useless. Your only job was to watch over her, and yet you lost her right under your nose. Let's stop the search and maybe, with all hopes, she's gone home on her own. Come on quick, she must be home.